Hey, welcome back. You know those times where you do a whole video and in reality you hit record, but then you must have hit stop? That was me. All right. So as a reminder, this is we're formalizing what we just did, the last section of 1.3, describing quantitative data with numbers. The link to the discovery part was down below. So go through that one so you can kind of get some context on how things are working. We're going to summarize it right here, kind of formalize what we're looking for, and then we'll give you guys a chance to do an example. So I already have this written out because, as I said before, I already did it because I was talking to myself, apparently. 5-number summary, minimum, Q1, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, maximum. You're going to use these 5 numbers to make your box plot. Remember, that looks like that, okay? Your outliers, there are 2 ways to get your outliers. Way too small is always going to be less than quartile 1 minus 1.5 interquartile ranges. And way too big is going to be greater than quartile 3 plus 1.5 interquartile range, or the value of the interquartile range. And then last but not least, remember to include your SOCV that we learned earlier this week. You don't remember what that is? Maybe you remember some of it. Go look it back up. No, you got notes. Take a look. The other thing to do, remember, is that you're comparing these things and not listing them. So in the example we're going to do down below, for example, if I asked you about the medians of, describe what's going on with the medians of the distributions of income of Maine, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, you wouldn't just simply say Maine's is about 49, Massachusetts is about 100, and Connecticut is about 53. No, you're going to actually compare them. This one's the smallest, this one's the largest. Is there a gap? That type of thing. Okay? So please go ahead and hit pause, work through this problem, come on back, and we'll check it. Hey, welcome back. All right, so in terms of describing this thing, the first thing you're going to do, remember the S, is shape. So you're going to go through and talk about that. The shape of the distribution of the annual income for Connecticut is roughly symmetric. Now, some people are like, oh, it's a little bit skewed. Yeah, this is skewed. This is not skewed. You're closer to the middle than you are to the other end. Here, you're kind of right in the middle. At that point, you're definitely skewed. So then you would go to, okay, so Maine is slightly, would you say? Yeah. Has a slight skew to the right. In Massachusetts, has a more extreme skew to the right. And you can tell that. I mean, even with this outlier, look how long that tail is. It's huge. Okay. Let's see. Now, outside of that, in terms of telling what the shape is, that's about all you can do because you don't know exactly how the shapes are going because you don't have any of the data. Okay, you don't have it in a dot plot. You don't have it in a bar graph. Well, bar graph would be a little bit harder, but you could still tell more than what you're doing here. Massachusetts has the highest center, or the highest median. Actually, that's what we're talking about here. You can say median, but shape, outliers, center. Massachusetts has highest center, followed by, who's next? Connecticut. And then Maine. Variability, there's your V. Highest for, who has the highest variability? Who's the most spread out? Massachusetts is the most spread out. They have the biggest range. Connecticut would be next, followed by Maine. Okay, is highest in. Oops, M would have been fine. I almost said Maine. Massachusetts, followed by Who's next? Connecticut. I always write that as a little lowercase c. Sorry, Connecticut. Then Maine. And then you just simply talk about the two outliers. Maine and Massachusetts each have an outlier. Massachusetts. Which side is the outlier? Low outlier, upper outlier. Each have upper outlier. And Connecticut has none. Gosh, there I am again. Sorry, Yukon. And that's what we're doing. Notice, shape, outlier, center, variability, SOCV. So, there we go. That's the end of that unit. Congratulations, finishing up Unit 1. So, we'll talk to you soon. After this, we're going to start messing around with Chapter 2 and get into, what's the first thing? Oh, we get to talk about how do we make data that doesn't look the same be able to be compared. That doesn't bring you back. I don't know what will. Talk to you soon.